I normally don't like talking about shows at the beginning of the season. I normally try to wait until the end just so I can give my like full opinion. But there's been so much hype around this season and a lot of the shows airing this season that I just wanted to kind of jump in here and give my opinion on them. So I'm going to start with the least excited and go to the most excited. We're gonna see how this goes. There's not gonna be any spoilers or anything. I've only watched like two or three episodes of each of these, so don't expect like a dissertation or any of that shit. These are gonna be fairly short. So first off, Spy Family. This is the one that I'm least excited about so far. Which is I don't want to say like anything bad about it. So far the season's been fine. The first like three episodes that I've watched has been fine, but compared to the other ones, it's just not as exciting, I guess would be the way to put it. Yeah, there's no other way I can say it. Nothing's really happened yet. And maybe that's just because it's the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so next is My Hero Academia. So I read the manga on this, and I'm pretty well caught up. So I know all of the story that's going to happen for this and later on. But I'm still a little excited for this, and I like the way they started off this season, where they just like jumped into the action. Because I feel like a lot of the problem that it's had in the past is there's kind of like a roller coaster of hype where basically some parts of the seasons are super like hyped up and there's big action and everything, and then they'll go to lows of just kind of I don't want to say side stories because they're still so far it's been everything that's been in the manga, so it's not like filler or anything, but at the same time it's just boring compared to the rest. And I'm okay with that kind of like roller coaster, but I've seen that a lot of people are not. But I mean, I've imagined people that have followed the story up to this point don't really care, or at least it doesn't bother them that much. So I don't know. That doesn't matter. And looks like they're doing 25 episodes for this season, so I'm kind of excited about that. Next up on the list, we'll do Mob Psycho. This is season three. So I would put this a little higher because the season two was probably up there to be one of my favorite like anime season like shows of all time. It's not like at the top, but it's pretty near the top. The season two was just so good, and so that kind of gave me a little bit of hype for season three. But so far, nothing has happened. Which again, it's only been like two episodes. I'm not expecting anything fucking amazing out of two episodes. But I don't really know where they're gonna go with this with because like last season they kind of ended it by beating the big bad guy, and so far they haven't really introduced anyone. But I guess last season they didn't really introduce him till like halfway through. I don't know. I am really excited for it because of last season, but so far nothing has happened to get me super excited for this season. So I'm kind of on the fence. Next is Chainsaw Man. So I saw so many people like talking about this show or talking about this manga because they back when they like first announced it was going to be made into an anime, people were so excited and were talking about it all over the place. I'll admit it kind of got me a little excited for it. And after watching the first couple episodes, I can kind of see why. It's uh I the this art style, like the I don't know, rotoscope, what that would be, what it was. I don't know. The CG esque of it. It always kind of has me on the fence because I've seen so many bad CG that it. I think we can all agree that CG is never really a good sign. But in some cases, it works out well, and I think a lot of that has to do. I've said this in one of my past videos, and I'm kind of agreeing with myself here that if it blends in with everything, it works out well. It's the when it contrasts so much with like the background and everything else that it kind of looks bad. And this looks really good with everything else. The story is interesting. I didn't really know what it was when going into it, so this has all been kind of like a new experience for me. I don't really want to comment like too much on all of that just yet until I like actually see the full season. So for now, I'm just gonna say it looks really good, and I'm excited to watch more of it. Now, the show that I am most excited for this season is Bleach. And I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this show. Back when it first came out, I was little. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember liking the first couple of arcs. The first couple of arcs were amazing, but then they went the way of the big three, and they just started throwing in random filler and shit that no one cared about. And by the end of it, I really just did not care. Like I went and I watched all of it just because I have a bad habit. I have a bad habit of watching shows, of finishing any show that I pretty much start. That's a whole nother story. But I finished the entire thing, and by the end of it, I just didn't care, honestly. So whenever they announced that they're going to be bringing it back, I was a little on the fence because it could go the way it was at the beginning of this series when it was super great, or it could just feel like a filler, and at that point, I was just going to hate it. But I went in and I watched the first couple of episodes just to see. And I gotta say, I am leaning on the hype train. I like the way they're setting up the story. I like the way that it looks like it's going to be going. Now, of course, that's kind of how the whole series went at the beginning. It started off strong and then didn't go well. Okay, so I'm still excited from how it looks, but I'm going to kind of try to keep that in check with how my keep my expectations in check, I guess would be a way to put it. TLDR, I guess. There's a bunch of shows that are coming out that I'm excited for and look like they're going to be pretty good. And you should go watch them too. That's that's really it. See ya. Just kidding. I'm back. It's been a few days, but I'm going through and editing, and I realize there's a few more things that I want to add. With Bleach, I know that Tekking is doing like a episode by episode breakdown as it's airing. So if you're wanting to know more about what's going on and more details, I know he's read the manga and he's knows a lot more, there's a hell of a lot more about it than I do. So it's a good resource if you're wanting to know more information as the show is airing. I'll get it out eventually. On Bleach, I heard that they announced that they were going to be airing 4 seasons. I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard it, but I haven't actually looked up anything to see whether or not it's true. But if that is true, that they're going to be doing 4 seasons, god damn, they we're like 3 episodes in to the first season, and they're already fucking like killing people off. Granted, they're not anyone important, but they are setting the bar high. Because I think in the original, like back when they were first airing it, they did a lot of like killing people, but not really making it all that gory or kind of doing a lot like off screen kind of thing. And then like the third episode of this season, they're just showing it. And they're just like, hey, we're just gonna kill people. We're gonna do it on screen. We don't care. So it's a lot more bloody and gory than like it was before. And I'm super excited for it. It's a terrible thing to be excited about. Point number two. I know I said that I had high expectations for Mob Psycho given the last couple of seasons, and so far they had pretty much just been setting up the story and nothing had really happened. But since I said all that, I've watched a couple more episodes, and I gotta say, my level of hype has only gone up. It's amazing the difference what like 1 or 2 episodes can make for my excitement for a show. But I'm trying to avoid spoilers, so I don't want to like talk about that too much. I just wanted to update my excitement level for the show. Anyway, point 3 or 4 or what? I forgot what point I'm on. It doesn't matter. Who the fuck cares? My last point, To Your Eternity, has come back for the second season. I don't really know if I would call this like a hype show. It's more of a roller coaster of emotions. But I am excited to watch it, and I know that they're watching like the first episode that they have for the second season. I can already tell it's going to be a good one. So I just want to throw that in here. It's going to be on the bottom of my excitement list, but it's still on there. Okay, and that's it. That's all I want to say. For real, goodbye.